Okay, let's get started here. We got a lot of stuff to go through. Like, this is just blocking several more rows of stuff. There is a lot of stuff to go through. It's been a while since we did one of these for a while. So, hello everyone, welcome to a video pickup. And there was so much crap here, like, I don't even know where to begin. So, I went to Washington near the beginning of December, and my friend gifted me a few things, and this actually was one of them, the Sly Cooper collection, Mad Nation Racers. I might have already had this one. I don't really remember, to be quite honest, though. Sly Cooper, Thieves of Time, and PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. I believe I have one of the versions of this. I don't remember if it was the Vita or the PS3 version. I believe the Vita version came with DLC characters, if I remember correctly. Lego Dimensions for the PS4. I have the Wii U version. They gifted me that because I told them that I was actually trying to get a PS4 version on the cheap, because from what I understand, the Wii U stuff is compatible with the PS4. So, yeah. And they also gave me Tiny Tina's Wonderland, because it got crossplay, so we can actually play that together. And then I actually just recently had some strictly limited stuff come in. This is some stuff they have been behind on for quite a while. So it's really good to actually get a nice bundle of games they've been needing to get to me. Let's see. This was just a random Amazon purchase. I think that was like $5. It's a little cheapy game of that. Not sure if it's really any good. You know, it's one of those budget gets. I did get Classic Heroes 1 and 2 for the cheap on a Black Friday sale, I believe. Mainly got for 2, because I'm always really far in 1. I kind of really need to get back to 1. I'd hate to really restart 1, because, man, that was a grind. But, you know, there might be nice features in the newer version to kind of make up for that, maybe. I'm not really familiar with what kind of changes they did. Walking Dead Survival Instinct. I had the Wii U version of this. I found the PS3 version in good condition that I traded. This was one of my trade-in for mail stuff for. So that one I basically got for all my packing material. Let's see, that one also, I couldn't remember if I had that one, but I was just looking for some extra stuff. If I already have it, I'll just probably use it for trading photo, because this year, excitingly, I'm thinking of trying to go to the Missouri Game Con and try to have my own little booth thing. I'm still looking into that, because the people are like radio silent until they decide to get started on the next one, so I'm waiting for them to actually be active. But I'm hoping to maybe do that, so I'm gonna bring some stuff to sell. Also, for packing material, the Escapists 2, I think I might have had that as well, but again, I was just picking up some stuff. I got a cheap copy of We Love Katamai We Royal. So that was a nice little grab. It was a cheapo grab. Everyone loves some Katamai. Look forward to trying the new one. I've been hearing nothing but good stuff for it. Kill Frequency, got for the cheap. It's Japanese version. Now this is a bizarro game. This is some kind of weird limited print game, like Yo Llama. It's like a Contra-esque game, so it looked like fun, but this company has 2 games. I have not bought their other game. Interestingly, this came with a Steelbook edition as well, which I think I already put away. A lot of Steelbooks I just kind of put away now. I don't really, because they're a lot of trouble to have on the shelves, because scooting them around damages them. So like ones I have on shelves, what I've done is like, because usually they have like a slipcover, I'll put like a napkin in between the slipcover and the steelbook. That way the napkin eases it of that. But yeah, I've kind of gotten over steelbooks, but you know, you still get them with a lot of stuff. So, anyway, another crab treasure, another crab's treasure. This is supposed to be a kind of a mix of a Souls style game, so I've heard interesting things about. I have not really watched anything about it, but I've heard a lot about it. So I'm looking forward to trying that. I like interesting twists. Now this, I'm really looking forward. Crow Country. This will be our next little shorty stream game, and we'll probably beat it before the end of my my holiday time off here, because I've been really looking forward to it. I hear it's not a super long game. I did pick up a copy of Chocobo Mystery Dungeon. This is the one that originally came out on the Wii. This features a co-op mode in it and some extra content. So I wasn't aware of this version existing until I, well, learned of it. And it was pretty cheap in Japan. And it does have English. So I did confirm that. So I was like, well, why not get it? It's more content. You get a little trophy support that sometimes adds a little replay. As long as it's not a terrible port, which usually happens on really old stuff. So, and considering it was a Nintendo Wii game, it was probably likely okay. But, you know, sometimes port stuff is mixed, especially when it's PS2 and older. Silent Hill F, I'm also really excited to play this. I haven't played a Silent Hill game in a long time. I have most of the series beat before these new ones. The digital one and that, I only needed Heavy Rain and Book of Memories. Other than that, I had beaten every other Silent Hill game, including the Game Boy Advance game. So, I had the series pretty in the pocket, but now they're starting to get titles out again. So, I kind of... Oh, wait, there is one more. And it's actually, ironically, it's in this, and there's a little story about that. But the Wii one, the one that's psychological, not so much survival. The name escapes me at the moment. It escapes me at the moment, so forgive me. We'll get there. One of the this is that Korean RPG series that PlayAsia first started doing localizations for. So, that was another entry of that. Then this, apparently I already owned a copy of this, and I accidentally bought another copy during Black Friday, so whoops. Oopsie doopsie. See, I'm getting so much crap, I can't remember some of the crap I only got, right? That's bad. I did get a copy of the new version of Dead Rising. Now, I did want to initially support this, but then some of the changes and censorship I didn't support, so I went against buying it new, and then it, as you can see, it was $17.99 with the $5 Pro coupon. Yeah, that's not too bad, $12, so I was like, sure, you know, for $12, that's not bad. I mean, I love Dead Rising. I hate 4 with, like, immense passion. Anyone who loves Dead Rising should hate Dead Rising 4 with a passion. And I really hope there has been rumors that there is new stuff with Dead Rising in the works, which is exciting. I really hope they retcon 4 out of existence and fucking do something good with the series, because I loved Dead Rising, I miss Dead Rising, and I wish it would come back to its glory that was. So, I am looking forward to actually trying that, because like I said, I do love Dead Rising 1, and there are improvements in that version, but I don't agree with the censorship. That was stupid. The Silent Swan. This is a little indie game. Then also we got Class of Heroes 3 finally localized in America. Now I don't know if they used, because I know Victor, the guy who was the owner of Walking Design, and he did the Gaijin Works thing. They said back in the day when they did the PSP version of Class of Heroes 2 that they had Class of Heroes 3 completely translated. They had already done all that, but Sony stopped the UMD making and they never got to do that. So I don't know if that somehow used any of that or if they just did their own version. I don't know. Die After Sunset. This was really cheap. Was just a cheapo buy. Gal Guardians. It's Metroidvania. Part of Gun Gal series. Tale of Paper. Never heard of it. This is like a newer version of this. I've never heard of the original, so that was a cheap buy. Now here's an exciting game. If you like Earth Defense Force, this is by the people of Earth Defense Force. It's a hack and slash game, and I'm very excited to give this one a shot. It looks like it's more joyous fun in that regard. It has fan service as well, if that's your cup of tea, but otherwise it is a, well, you know, it's the chaos. Let's see. I believe I have a copy of this. This was also something I got from trading in packing material. Sometimes I don't always get to pick stuff that I don't own in some form. Sometimes I'll pick some stuff for trade fodder, trying to sell, trade in, or just spare cases or stuff. But yeah, and same thing with Far Cry Primal. That was another just extra pick for packing material stuff. Limited One Games did this little compilation. They don't do compilations very often. Now, I believe 2 of these games. I know this one got a physical, the one with the little fox, because I do have that. The other 3 I don't think had. But yeah, so a compilation. They don't do those very often. They really should do that more often for the kind of prices they charge sometimes. I mean, right now, Limited One Games has fucking a new version of Jaws from the NES. It supposedly has new content, so that's something, but still, it's fucking Jaws from the NES. Unless it, like, became really expensive, which, as far as I know, it hasn't. Let me actually check that. As far as I know, it hasn't, but maybe Jaws NES price charting. Maybe the prices went up from no, it's like $13 loose on price charting. So yeah, it's not expensive. So like and they want, like, I think it was like, was it $39? Let me look this up. I want to be accurate on this, but it's like, what the fuck? One game. They want $34.99 for this version. They really should compilate, like, if they're going to do some LGN, is it LGN? I think that was the name of the publisher. LGN titles, like, and don't get me wrong, they're all like Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street was pretty interesting. Friday the 13th were pretty interesting. They're not perfect games, but they were interesting games. And I'm not saying they don't deserve a way to be preserved and played on modern consoles by any means. I certainly think they can. But, like, charging that much for individual fucking title? Like, especially if they do nothing to it. Like, I don't remember Jaws being a complicated game, so, I don't know what the fuck more they could really do with it. But, yeah, it feels like it's just an excuse to rack up on the price of that. It's really kind of outrageous in my opinion. Please, for the love of humanity, Limited One Games, do more compilations. You will make everyone more happier. This is some kind of arcade compilation. I'm not familiar with any of this stuff. Wasn't this a Limited One thing, I think? I can't remember. Let's see. Oh, this has Zero Wing. Isn't that the game that did the meme? Isn't that the meme? The meme, you know, the all your bases? Pretty sure that's it, ain't it? But yeah, these will some. Looks like these are all just shmup games on these 2 collections. Please do more collections. Collections are good. Good, good, good. Not familiar with this one. And we got a new Shinobi game, which I think somebody said has a bug on it, which Limited One Games has been doing very awful when it's been coming to, like, not having good builds being put on these physical fucking versions lately, which is a pretty big shame. I don't know how you mess that up. I don't know how you fucking mess that up, especially with how long it takes for them to ship out a lot of this shit these days. This is the Ortheon. Looks like this is a shmup. Lots of shmups here. Black Friday, I did grab a cheap copy of Final Fantasy 16. I still need to play fucking 15. I thought 16 was actually not bad. I don't think it's going to really wow me any, because honestly, after fucking 10, honestly, or I should say after 11, I haven't really been wowed by Final Fantasy in a long time. Like, 12 was okay, but I didn't really get into it and was pretty disappointed with the direction the story went, considering it's related to Final Fantasy Tactics. 13. Do I need to talk about 13? 14 is solo the MMO. And like I said, I haven't played 15 and 16, so I haven't really been satisfied with a mainline Final Fantasy in quite a while, so I don't know. It could maybe it'll do something that makes me go wowzers, but I don't think it will. I don't think Final Fantasy and its mainline is going to really get me back anytime soon. We have the new Katamari, Once Upon a Katamari. I love Katamari. We just did Katamari Forever just to line up for this, because that was the only mainline Katamari game I had played and out of them. So now that's the only Katamari game, not counting mobile games, that I have not played. The Pucklin Squire. I heard this has a game-breaking bug on it, which is disappointing, so I got on the cheap. The more broken the game, the cheaper it should be. More broken it is, the more broken it is. Anyway. So we went through primarily a lot of PS4 stuff. We got a lot of retro stuff. You might notice these sticker sheets here from Security Breach. I keep finding cheap copies of Security Breach. I can trade the GameStop for a few extra bucks. So I have so many of these sticker sheets. I gave them to some of my friends when I went to the Netherlands, and now I'm just getting them again. I'm just like, oh my goodness, why do I keep getting these? I can't wait for the Mimic to become cheap as fuck. Hopefully it'll be a similar. I keep, like, all these Five Nights at Freddy games, I keep finding cheap and then be able to just do a quick flip at GameStop and have all of these sticker sheets. So okay, let's see. Copy of Mario Brothers DS. Again, similar thing. Was trading packing materials, so it's kind of like, there's somebody will probably definitely want that. Now here's some interesting stuff, some Black Friday stuff at our local little video game store. So a little video game store opened up in my area, which is really nice. I've been wanting a new store here for a long time, and they're pretty nice. They're a little picky on the trading in, sadly. Like, trading in is a pretty poor experience these days at most stores. If you can find a place that gives you good trade-in deals, you're lucky, because there ain't a lot of them. Anyway, it's kind of... but I found some pretty nice stuff, though. Some stuff I've never heard of, stuff I've been looking for. And they did do a Black Friday thing this year, which it was a buy two and get one free thing. But they only did it to, I think it said for stuff that was 70 and under, I think, or something like that. But anyway, I bought 2 NES games and a DS game. They had Chibi Robo Park Patrol. This is a bit of an expensive game, and it was a Walmart exclusive in America. So it went up in price. It's cribbed and everything. It was $50, a bit pricey, but when you look at the other stuff and you split out the price, not too bad. Then I got a NES game called Tombs and Treasure, which was an interesting title, for $30, and Conquest of the Crystal Palace for 40. So that meant I got this one for free. And then you split out that price a little bit, and that makes that more like 40. Well, let's see, that was 30, so let's take 20 out of that and 10. So it's more like I paid 30 for these two and got that for free then, basically. So not too bad. That's a pretty good deal, honestly. Pretty good deal in my opinion, because I believe the Chibi Robo game goes for a little bit more cribbed, so it was also a little less than the normal price. So it was a pretty good deal, I think. So got in these two NES games are in really good condition. They've been getting a lot of really good condition looking NES stuff. So pretty nice haul there from that. And there's some other Black Friday stuff in here, but not tons. I like to think Black Friday this year was kinda meh. So anyway, well, let's go through. We got a lot of DS stuff right here. Let's go through some of that. We got the one Fire Emblem game that never came to America on the DS that I got from the Missouri Game Convention. A bunch of these are from that. The Dragon Quest Monsters 1 and 2, or was this just 2? I think it was 1 and 2, wasn't it? I think it's supposed to be 1 and 2. Or maybe it was just 2. I can't really remember. But it's one of the Dragon Quest Monster games. Let's see, what was it here? That was a find I found at the little cell phone game, Goodwill-like store here. It was only like $5. This was part of a buy two get one free. This was a free game, so I just tried to look for something. There wasn't a lot I found interesting for free. This was also just some random RPG thing. It was cheapo. Cheapo. Here's some stuff more from that local game store. They had Prince of Persia for the DS for $3. I was like, ooh. Steel Horizons. This is some kind of battleship looking game. It's by Konami. It was $3, and these are complete. They have their books and manuals and stuff. This is some kind of top-down kind of clicker game thing. It's a little bit pricier, $10. You know, it looks something kind of like the old Army Men game on the PC. So I was kind of like, oh, that looks a little bit interesting. I can snag that up too. Here's something interesting. Danganronpa. No, Dorepon Kingdom. I believe it's called Journey. So this is a Dorepon Kingdom game. You might remember that if you remember back when me and Aaron played the Wii one, which was the second entry to come to America, I believe. Because I believe there was a Game Boy Advance game that came to America. But yeah, as you can see, this is Japanese. This is pretty pricey. PlayAsia just had it on sale randomly for really cheap. When it's usually a lot more. So I was kind of like, oh, sure, why not? Trade for packing material. It's some ER game. Probably figured it probably copies the what's that? It was that Atlas series, Under the Knife. Yeah. The Japanese version of the Dragon Ball DS game. We did get this in America, but it's pretty pricey now. So I got that. The Missouri GameCon thing. And, man, that was back in July. That really shows you how fucking much the stuff's been building up since then. And a good chunk of these here are also from there. So there was a guy who had a bunch of Japanese SNES games. He had a bunch of Sailor Moon games. I had no idea what the majority of them was. But they were like buy two, get one free. So it was like... So I just bought one of each one that was different. But one of these, I believe it is this one, is the RPG one, which I've been wanting to get a copy of. So I consider that a win, but these are all different Sailor Moon titles here. I don't know what most of them are, other than the RPG one, but they're all different, so... hopefully a few of them are something interesting. I know there's some beat 'em up fighting ones, which I imagine what most of those probably are. One of them might even be the that one I got from Jimmy Hopper. Maybe I wasn't 100 memorative. I also grabbed from one of our lovely contributors at Does It Play, who I got to meet at the Missouri Game Con. They sold me this copy of Shadow One for the Super Nintendo for $50. They gave me $10 off, and I didn't even haggle it. He just said, "Here, here's $10 off." Went to go meet him and stuff and that, so that was really kind of him. I didn't even act like I did try to haggle two things that I got from other booths, and I'll explain those when we get those. But yeah, I didn't haggle that. They just did that, and I look forward to seeing him next year. That he had a very nice little booth. So let's see, some more NES stuff. Battle Chest, which I believe that I got for trading and packing material. Battle Chest, not exactly the most thrilling game to play, but a lot of nice sprite work. Now, here's something I was worried. I got this at that game store. They had to buy 2, get 1 free. The Ultima 4 Quest of the Avatar for $16. Not too shabby, and it's really nice condition and everything. It's very clean in that. So, I really enjoyed playing Ultima 3 on the NES. I know for some people, maybe the NES versions are kind of blasphemy or simplified versions of the DOS games, but I find them a much nicer aesthetic, and I look forward to actually playing Ultima 4 this way, because I played Ultima 3 on the NES as well, so I have Ultima 1 for DOS being. I was playing 2 for a few months, and I was getting closer to the end, but I kind of slacked off. I need to get back on that and so I can have Ultima 2 done, and then I'll have the original trilogy beaten in some form of that. So that would be really nice to get to. Anyway, let's move on. There's lots and lots of stuff, as you can see. We got Rayman. What was this? Brain Games. Some kind of educational shit, but got for trading in the stuff that I did for packing material. This was unfortunate eBay buy. I've been wanting to get a copy of this, and I finally went and bought one. There was a cheap copy that advertised being good, but it was pretty scratched up, and I told them, because it was pretty cheap, I told them, if you refund me the amount to buff the disc, I will not give you a bad thing, and I'll keep it. And they gave me a refund to get buffed out, and I got buffed. It looks good, so hopefully it should work. I need to get its own case. That is a kind of a wacky, like, it uses tank control stuff, but it's not quite a survival game. It's a little bit more action-y, so it's kind of a weird-ish game. I've never gotten to play it myself, so that'll be interesting one day to hopefully pop in. Let's see. This was at a pawn shop. It was Contra for the PS2. It's normally pretty pricey. Wait. Actually, this was at Missouri Game Con, I think. I think this was, yeah, I think this was at the Missouri Game Con, actually. I think this was in one of those bins. Yeah, I think it was 5 of that. But I got buffed. It was scratched up. I was trying to remember that. It was scratched up. It's not perfect, but it looks way better than it did. So hopefully it's good now, I hope. Let's see. This was also at the Missouri Game Con. I did haggle this one. This one I asked if they would do 50 on. It only has its book and its disc. You may notice it has a thing in there, but it is actually just a printout, so somebody printed it out, so it wasn't a thing. This game has went up in price, so this is one of those games where I actually passed up for a long time, and then it went up in price, so that was one I got. This was also a Missouri Game Con. Dynamite Cop for the Dreamcast. Let's see. This was an eBay order. This is a very bizarre little game. I don't even remember how to pronounce it in English, but you basically play as a vampire who's taking over towns to combat another vampire. It's a really interesting social tactics-y, real-time tactics-y game, not turn-based tactics. It's very bizarre. I watched a really good video on it, and I went to go buy a copy because it was just immediately interesting. Let's see, this was at that game store that opened up around here. I never heard of this game. It was only 16 bucks, Dreamcast, good condition. So, snag that up. This was the Contra game that was at Pawn Shop, the PS1 Contra game, which is considered really bad. Can't remember the condition. Yeah, it's a bit scratched up, but it was really cheap. You probably can't, yeah. It's always hard to show scratches on PS1 discs a lot of times without like a very high quality camera in it. This was another gift from my friend in Washington, Medal of Honor. Apparently it's one of his favorite Medal of Honor games, so I have a very funny feeling he might be voting that up, maybe, possibly, because he did the Yu-Gi-Oh! Votes that. Okay, we got a good bit of older stuff. I still got some more cartridges right there too, but let's get back some more modern stuff, because as you can see there is a lot of it. So we do have a few more retro things up here to go through. So I did get another package from Jimmy Hopper, so I did get a bunch more games from him. This was one of them. It was a very strange name. It is some kind of fighting game. So I bought that up. Made in Japan. But yeah, that's a box version. The box is a little bit beat up, not the best condition. And also bought this, which is the original Custom Robo for the N64. For those who don't know, Custom Robo actually came out on the N64. So the one on the GameCube was actually the sequel. So those were two of the things I got from Jimmy Hopper. There was more of them in here, but those are on other pals, so we'll go there. This was a little bit of a disappointment. This was from a GameStop sale. Come on, camera, focus. So this was from a GameStop sale. As you can see, it's an Xseed collector's edition thing. This is how Xseed's been doing a lot of their collector's editions. It has everything as far as I know, but for some reason, they didn't give me the fucking case. They just gave me the fucking game in a slipcover. Now, normally I would probably return something like this and be like, what the fuck? But this was super cheap, and the odds are I was probably not going to find it for that cheap again. At least not as a complete box thing. So I kind of just like, I guess, you know, it was like 15 bucks or something. So I'm like, I guess it's not the end of the world. If it was something I really, really wanted to be complete, like if it was like a Persona game or something, oh, you bet I'd be like going down there and be mad and shit. But yeah, it was just a clearance new game. So that's the second time I've had something like that happen. But yeah, GameStop's been getting worse, sadly, in ways that hasn't been very common for me. I know that has happened to some other people. Normally, I don't consider it as big of a deal, as long as they let me return it and stuff. But for anyone who remembers long ago when I bought a copy of Gungrave for VR, the VR Gungrave game for the PS4, I bought a version of that, and they gave me a black case, you know, the generic black case with no cover art or anything, with the disc in it as quote-unquote new. And the manager in the town where I work, when I went to try and return it, fucking just kept saying, oh, it's a new disc. It's a new disc. It doesn't have the original case and shit. It's like, no, it's a new disc. So, yeah, I always hate that bitch. That's why she's a bitch. Bitch. That's the most stupidest shit I ever heard. Oh, yeah, it's a new game even though it doesn't have everything. So, I don't do my returns up there anymore if I have one. I know GameStop really likes to hustle you a lot of times when you do returns these days, but as long as you have a good reason, they're usually good. My local one actually has competent people that I like, Because it's been a while since I've had employees I've liked. The ones in my local one I currently actually do like. The ones in the town where I work in, not so much. They're pretty... let's see. That was a GameStop item that was on sale. I believe it was $10. VR game. Don't really know much about it. It's just some, Five Nights at Freddy's knockoff thing, Yeah, these big scary mascot stuff. Let's see. Slave Zero, that was also a GameStop item that was on sale. That's a shmup game, I think? No, that's a side hack and slash type game. I was completely 100% wrong on that. Good job, me. Let's see. This was a limited one release. I'm not familiar with it. Sadly, like a lot of times, I don't always know what all these there's only so much gaming knowledge I can have stuck in my head. I mean, I have over 5,000 games now. I can't know everything in the world. Death Endor, Quest Z. I heard this was pretty poorly received. I got a copy on sale on Woot.com. Let's see, Escape Site 13. That is a new game. That's from the Limited Legacy Games people who have released a handful of titles now. So, looking forward to trying that. Because that is a review title. So, I will need to be playing that one. Windwing Ranger Rewind. No idea. No idea. Looks like it's a mixture of different gameplay elements from the screenshots. Tumba, the PS4 edition, which is supposed to have the patches on it. This was an interesting release that was with Video Games Plus and Limited One Games. They originally weren't going to do a PS4 version, and then Video Games Plus made some deal with Limited One Games to do a PS4 version that has the more newer patches on it, because they released, oh shocking, Limited One Games released it without multiple patches that came out. So, expecting the same to happen to a sequel, sadly, that. So, when years origin. Also, I always find it funny, because, Pat's friend, Pat the NES Punk, what's his friend, Ian, I think was his name. I haven't watched a podcast in a good while. I always remember when Ian, freaked out about Play Asia saying they had the exclusive sales of one of the Dead or Alive games for the Vita, and for some reason he interpreted that as, all versions, and he kept saying, the liars, when it's just... they're talking about the Vita version. They're the exclusive seller for the Vita version. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I remember when they announced, way back on the Limited One show thing, they showed off Tomba, and he assumed it was going to be a collection of Tomba 1 and 2. And I said it in my own, thing about that video. I knew they weren't going to do a collection. Any super popular games, Limited Ones do a collection? Ha! Ha! Why would they do that when they could sell them individually like they did with the Master Blaster games? Japanese version? All 3 of them in a collection. American? Nope, individualed. They're not gonna... They'll individual anything they can forcibly individual. They probably have to get their arm twisted to not fucking do it. So, I knew they weren't going to do that, and, yeah. But, yeah, what do you expect from somebody like that? Then Ian's just full of so much hatred these days. Let's see. I believe this was something I just used my random $5 promo credit on, I believe, if I remember correctly. Most new entry in the Mercenaries. These are Final Fantasy Tactics-esque games. It's been quite a series now. Kingdoms and Castles. Don't know anything about it. I think this was another, yes, of course, no, Limited One game. Looks like, yeah, 1 towns and castles, so that could be fun, maybe. Depends. The Gex Trilogy, which I've already heard had some problems with. Apparently, you can't access, menu. There's a menu, apparently, to access or something, do something in. I can't remember. I like vaguely heard about it. I've never played any of the Gex games. That's probably going to be my only way I'll ever play them. I don't own any of them, so I've never gotten to actually experience them. So, got more random indie stuff. Limited One's April Fool's game, Potato Sack Racer Simulator 2024. I really don't know what, like, getting, like, old Sega CD games and that, or, like, one thing for humor and stuff, or stuff like the mayonnaise clicking game, but, like, if I ever play this, which probably will before April Fool's type thing, I need to, like, look up what the fuck the origins of this shit is, because I don't know the origins of this shit. Like, I don't know, like, did Limited One have any involvement in that, or is that just some weird indie game some random person released? I don't know. Wed Metal 2, Wed Metal 1, which Limited One did a PS4 version of Wed Metal 1, but I figured with the better VR headset for the PS5, I figured that I might as well upgrade to that. Doom 1 and 2 for the PS5. Hopefully not horrifically flawed like the previous Doom thing they did on Limited One games. This, I don't know too much about. I've heard a lot of people recommend it, so I snagged a copy from PlayAsia of it. Oh, that's not good. There's a disc rattling in it. I don't like disc rattling, so I'm gonna do the forbidden sin and open it up. And I know somebody's probably gonna be like, no, the pain. Oh, my soul. I hear the plastic coming off. Oh, no. Well, on the upside, this isn't some whale game or anything, so don't be too worried about this. This was just a cheapo game. I mean, like, cheap. So this is Lemon Cake. It's some kind of bakery shop game. It was like fucking $3 or something. I was like, yeah. So sometimes, you know, sometimes the little cheapo games sometimes end up like interesting little bits of amusement sometimes. So yeah, sometimes. That was a GameStop sale. Let's see. This game gave me a lot of trouble. It came with a deck of cards, and this one got a little bit damaged. It might be kind of hard to tell in the upper corner. It's pushed in a little bit. But this game came with a deck of cards, and the first one I got was, like, crushed in. And, like, the people at Video Games Plus seemed to not be able to understand that, because I kept the deck of cards from the previous version so they could send me this new one and not have that problem, but they sent me another deck of cards with this one, but it didn't get as crushed in, so at least it didn't damage the cover art, so I can give it a new case technically if I don't like that small lump in there or that. The new version of The Thing, I've never played the PS2 game. I, of course, watched the old Spoony One video on it, though. It's one of those kind of games that had interesting mechanics, but, you know, might not all necessarily been carried out in the best of way. The Shadow Labyrinth. This is apparently actually a part of some weird series that I'm not very familiar with. It's some timeline thing of that, so. Still Wakes the Deep. This is like, I think it's a walking similar spook game, I think, if I remember correctly. The Bubsy. Since we got the Bubsy collection coming, I figured, you know what? I probably should get those two terrible Bubsy games that happened. So I did grab those. So we got Bubsy Paws of Fire, and the other one is somewhere in here. I did find a cheap copy of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which was by the people who did Friday the 13th. Apparently this game is basically abandonware now, so I probably should give it a try while it still has maybe some people that play it, so I probably should set that to the side so I can actually try that. Let's see, and here's the other Bubsy game, the Woolly Strike Back, sadly with no cover art. Skull and Bones. I got this for $5 at Walmart, so I was like, I'm a sucker for a deal. If you want me to pick up something, if it's just vaguely interesting and it's cheap, I will usually give it a shot. I believe I got this like in a buy two get one free deal at GameStop, I believe, if I remember correctly. I've been eyeing that one for a while, just waiting for a cheap price. That was by the oh, what was that game? Does it mention it? No, it doesn't mention it. I can't remember the other game, but it's one of those games where you like choose a bunch of outcomes and people die or live and shit. What was that previous game they did? They actually like remade it for the PS5 like a year or two ago. Mafia Edition for the PS4. Dragon Ball Z, Kakarot. Though I think this was a trade with packing material, and I think this one has some top surface disc damage, so technically I want to get a better version of this. Technically, I'm running out of space in my chair here. There's so many games. Anyway, let's see. We got some more shmup games. Shmups. Always doing so many shmups these days. Shmups up the shmupshangs. Okay, we got Giant Tower Hill. Now, one of the more recent things I got from Super Whale Games. This is an interesting title. Likoya, Age to Blood. It's supposed to be like a Metroidvania game, except you drive a motorcycle. This is the PS5 version. I do have the Switch version too. I got that because for those who don't know, this is a European country, so shipping pricey, and they do a bundle thing to buy stuff together. Usually what I do now, ever since they started doing PS5 versions to avoid getting duplicates of a version I don't want, they tell me just to pre-order it, and then once everything's announced and revealed, because the bundles, they only reveal one entry at a time, and then once all three are revealed, and then they get them all in hand, they ship them and that. So they told me what I could do is once they're all revealed, and if the duplicate thing on the Switch with a PS5 version I don't want, I can contact them and they can redo the order and refund me and stuff. This is a really good game, and this is the reprint. Apparently someone on Desert Plays who got a hold of a early copy, because Super Whale Games does work with us to test their games, did find a error, game-breaking bug in the PS5 version, so they reprinted it, and anyone who didn't have their copy shipped got the reprinted version. People who already have the broken version had the option to get a reprinted version, and then on the store you could buy for a limited time they did a new order for the reprinted version, and you could still buy the the broken version with a discount, so everyone could get a little bit of something. So Super Whale Games has, for the most part, done a really good job at fixing their games after what was that called? Hell Pie, I believe. Hell Pie, they kind of held off for a good while before announcing doing a fixed version of that. But now they've been essentially fixing anything that's been found completely broken to that with no workaround. So Super Whale Games has been doing very good on that, and I definitely commend them on that, because like fucking Limited 1 has continuously been a horrible example of that, with multiple games that are either broken or have really bad shit in them that shouldn't have shipped that way. So, and other companies like Dispatch, no, not Dispatch, Special Resolve, that's what I'm thinking. Special Resolve games also dragged their ass when they had something similar before they reprinted their old game. So, you know, Super Whale Games has been doing an excellent job of doing what people have. Now, you might notice this incredibly beat up fucking ass box here. So, this is Pop Slinger. This was on sale on Woot.com for like $15. Now, if you buy stuff from Amazon or Woot, because Woot.com's owned by Amazon, you probably know boxes have become a lot less common, and they put them in bubble wrap or those paper recycle things. So, it's probably not hard to imagine that's what they put this in. And as you see, it's horrifyingly beat up. Now, the contents of it are fine. The game and everything is fine. The box is just fucking decimated. So, I, of course, I contacted customer service, and they didn't ship me a new copy, probably because they're all sold out of that, which, Woot.com does that a lot. Please restart. We're like 51 minutes into this. I still have 3 pals this high and a half pal of this. What, are you crazy? None, because I don't own a Switch 2. So I have none. I have 0. I have no desire of touching the Switch 2 until Nintendo addresses the key cards. Unlike a bunch of shills who said, oh, I'm not gonna buy it, and then they buy it. Fuck those people. Especially Bueno Floss, who literally made a song about not caving in to a launch of a console, and then he literally did it. He literally did. He made a song about not buying a console on launch, and then he literally did it. He made a little cheeky video like, never buy a console at launch, unless it has Mario Kart. Never buy a console at launch. It's like, hypocrites, 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 hypocrites. Anyway, I do not have a Switch 2. Now, if Nintendo addresses the keycard problem, and that improves, I might get one in the future. But until then, no. Fuck it. I don't have any interest of buying shit that ain't gonna work in the future. Look how many fucking games I have. Look at the shelf you can see in the background. Like, that's just shit I have on the Switch. And there's still a shelf up there you can't even see full of Switch shit. Like, I don't need a Switch 2 in fucking incomplete games. I don't give a shit. Like, I have over 5,000 games. I don't need Nintendo's broken cartridges. I don't need them. If they address it, then maybe I will get one eventually. But as it is, I don't give a fuck. Nintendo has nothing I care about on a console out of their stuff. And like, the majority of third-party shit, there's like, what, 7 real physical games? And everything else is key cards? So, fuck it. I don't give a shit about the thing. Anyway, what was the thing? Oh, yeah. So, I did do a customer return thing on this. So, what they did is they gave me a full refund. So, I got this for free. So, yeah, it's beat up and stuff. I took all the contents and flattened the box out to try and get as good as it can, but yeah, as you can see, it's pretty not very salvageable. But everything inside's good, like I said, so, they gave it for me for free, so can't complain about that. But yeah, luckily not something I was like too heartbroken. If it was like some Persona thing or something, Dragon Quest, then yeah, I'd be a lot more heartbroken about. Let's see, we got Cotton from Strictly Limited. That was another title that I got in the mail from them. Let's see, and another Cotton game, Cotton Fantasy. But how are you doing, Carter? How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing good. Now here's, and I just got this in the mail yesterday. So this is volume 1 and 2 of the Nightmare Box. Now, these are the PAL versions. Technically, technically these, the majority of these titles are available in America as well, but a lot of them are broken up into even more versions. So this was the cheaper route for all of these titles versus like this game is by itself in America. And then I think this and one of these other two are part of a duo bundle. So like these are broken up in more lesser versions. So this was a much more cost-saving option for those. There were a bunch of indie horror stuff, so doing good. That's good. That's good. Good. All way for Christmas, hopefully. Way for Christmas. The Macross game that Red Art Games did. This is missing a bit of content because of what is that company? Gold, whatever, that owns that one fucking Macross anime that they made Robotech out of. They had to remove that because of them. So if you want that content, you actually have to get the Japanese version, sadly enough. The Outer Worlds, as you can see, I got for $5. You know, it's basically Fallout in space. Unlike the Outer Worlds 2, which is not complete, so that'll be on the cheapo list if I ever decide I want to get it. At least the first one, as far as I understand, is at least actually on the disc. You know, I'm really sad. I don't know if you played the Stalker series before, Carter. Xbox is making a fortune. Well, that was used, so I mean, they didn't get anything out of it, honestly. I'm really sad that the PS5 version of Stalker 2 is incomplete. Like, I was actually, because I bought the collection thing of the console ports of the 3 Stalker games on PS4, and I'm looking forward to playing those, actually. I'm hoping to play those next year, or at least one of them, because I've always heard Stalker's really, really good survival series. So I've been looking forward to trying that. But yeah, I was really disappointed to hear that Stalker 2 is incomplete on PS5. It's not, like, apparently it only has a little bit of the beginning area and that's it, and everything else has to be downloaded. Real shame to hear about. I will probably get, like I said, on the cheaper end of shit. Like, if I see it for $5 or something, then I'll probably get it. But yeah, like, obviously that makes it really disheartening to want to get it. Because I would have probably considered buying it more full price or at least brand new to support it. But nope, it's just a fucking coaster. All these Microsoft PS5 ports so far have been just fucking coasters. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what Microsoft's doing. Their console is outrageously expensive. They've screwed over their console base, basically, for PC at this point. And, like, they can't even make proper physicals even on the PS5. Like, I honestly don't know what Microsoft's fucking future is, honestly. Like, I really don't. Mr. Gimmick 2. Mr. Gimmick 1 was an amazing NES game, so it's really interesting to see they made a sequel based on its notoriety it gained over the years. Sequel to Freedom Planet 2, which is basically Sonic the indie game. Then a VR game. This was probably from, Limited One Games. I really need to start cutting back more on Limited One shit. Like, Limited One is farting out so much shit. Like, it is ridiculous how much buying all this shit mostly is. I mean, I always was, how should I say, trying to hold back buying on everything. I've been a little bit more pickier, and I think I honestly need to be more pickier, because it's getting outrageous how much shit at one time they keep releasing and shit. Did you ever get the new Everybody Golfs on PS5? I don't think I have an Everybody Golfs on PS5. I think there's 2 Everybody Golfs that I have on the PS4, I think, though. I don't think I remember there were anyone on 5. Inscription on the PS5. Waiting Nova, which is shmup. Shmup, whoop, whoop, shmup. Then, ooh, of course, we got Metroidvania goodness. This series continues to do Metroidvania fun. Then Tetris Forever. Tetris just keeps going on and on and on. This thing, I have no idea. It has like such a crack-tastic fucking cover. I don't know anything. Into the Mind of Jeff Moore, the legendary cradle of Attack the Mutant Camels, Grid 1-0, and Tempest 2000. Like, I have no idea what this is. It was a limited one thing though, so this was an interesting release because it's a making of this really old fighting game. It's like considered the granddaddy of fighting games before Street Fighter. So they made essentially a thing of several. I think it has a few different versions of the game, and then it has a bunch of like documentary stuff. So that's an interesting thing. It was on the Commodore 6. Wait, so that's an actual retro game? I thought it was like a parody thing. That's an actual retro game? You mean that's a real game that came out before? Oh, I just thought it was a parody thing. Interesting. See, you can't always know everything. Predator Hunting Ground? Oh no. Oh fuck, what is up with all these fucking games that aren't in the... What was that? No, actually... No, I think that's some booklet or something. Yeah, I can hear the disc wobbling in the placeholder. So there's apparently some booklet or something rattling around inside. So Predator Hunting Ground ported for the PS5. Let's see. Apparently includes some DLC. So that's probably what's rattling around inside. So this was by the people who made the Friday the 13th game as well. It wasn't well received. This was really cheap. I actually bought 2 copies of it and traded 1 copy in the GameStop that basically paid for that copy. They won on sale at Woot.com, so I don't even know if that has a player base anymore, to be honest, but oh well, you know, it is what it is, right? Let's see. This is a sequel to another game. And I did actually buy that. They have like heavy D&D themes, so maybe one day try them out. You know, it's always the one day maybe I'll try them out when I retire. Actually, a real game. Did not know that. Here was a game from a GameStop sale, NIS. Honestly, I have been falling behind on NIS titles a lot. Like, half the time I don't really know much about a lot of the titles they do lately most of the time. Let's see, we got Goat Simulator 3. That is not the price I paid for it. That has an older sticker on it. A notorious game from the Limited Whale Games people that make these really strange, horrific, odd releases. A lot of their titles are pretty expensive. I'm not, like, I'm kind of curious. Where'd my phone go? Phone, where did the phone go? There it is. Let's look up what, I don't know what the going price on this thing is, but let's see. Make sure I spell it right. Megaton. Let's see how much it's going for. Oh wow, there's apparently a lot of stuff called that. Let's try that for PS4 then. Apparently there's a whole bunch of comics called that. And apparently there's a Japanese PS2. Okay, so currently, wow, $174, man. I tell you. Ooh. And they're usually pretty meh games, to be honest. I think the second game, which was a Metroid-esque looking game, which I have that, which I believe is currently the rarest game that's actually worth like $2,000, I think, the last time I looked it up. Actually looks like the most interesting game they've released, to be honest. A VR game for PS5. I still need to try out my fucking PS5 headset. I really want to play The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2. Like, I really enjoyed the first one, so I really want to do that one as my first PS5 headset one. The Suikoden collection, I love Suikoden. I don't know if this collection's going to do justice, but I love Suikoden. I played 1 and 2 back when I was a kid. I played through 3 and 4. I have not played through 5, the DS Tactics game, the GBA card game, and the PSP game, which 2 of those were Japan only. The card game and the PSP game, those only came out in Japan. I do own all except for the card game. I still need to get the card game on the GBA. But yeah, so I got like the majority of the series owned, and I got about half of the series played through. I really should do 5. I always heard good things about 5. I remember several people back when I was younger would tell me, because I would say, like, 4 was a pretty disappointing. Oh yeah, and there was the Tactics game on the PS2 also. I got that too. That I was really disappointed with the 4th game overall. I was okay with the 3rd one. The 3rd one was part of that generation of transitioning from 2D to 3D for the first time. If you play Suikoden 3, it really gives you that vibe if you grew up with those eras. Now, this is a weird game. A different company was going to do Magical Drop. See, that'd be 6. One renewals. A different company was originally going to do this, then they canceled it, and then Limited Ones did it. So, I'm not quite sure what happened there. It kind of makes me a little suspicious. Killing Time, that was a Sega CD game. Limited One release. Crypt Master, this is supposed to be an RPG, apparently. Like, it's supposed to be a really bizarre RPG. I don't really know anything about it, but I've heard some interesting things, so that might be something to check out one day. We have the Cyber Citizen Shockman collection, which was apparently a TurboGrafx game. This has 4 games on it. I know it's one of those rare times where Limited One games actually fucking did a collection. I solely believe he probably twists the arms of the fucking people as much as he can to try and, like, can we break these up? Of course, this isn't a big, at least for me, it's not something I've ever heard of, actually, but I think he also likes to do it more on well-known stuff. Stuff that's valuable, well-known, well-loved. I think he's a lot more on the stuff that's not as known or, like, not as well. Let's see, the Last Worker, PS5 VR game. I believe I got this on sale at Polite Asia, if I remember correctly. And a PS4 VR game. That was a PAL version. I believe I bought that at the same time. I believe I bought that on a big VR sale. Slack, Asterix, and Obelix. This is a beat-em-up game. I've heard the AI is kind of stupid in it, so it's probably not really a fantastic beat-em-up game. But I actually tried to get a new collection that actually had that, its sequel, and three older 3D games, like all in one thing. But PlayAsia told me that they didn't have any more copies and they had to remove it from my order, and I was really sad because that was a pretty good price for all 5 of those. I was like, oh damn, that's a lot of games in one little collection. But yeah, so I'll have to find that like secondhand or something unless they get more. A collection of some more VR games. I tried to get these PAL for some reason. I don't know why your side of the lake has so many physical VR games. Because I can tell you, when I was in the Netherlands, I only saw 2 video game stores, and one of them, I swear, was like a tourist trap location. The other one was pretty decent price, but the first one I went to, like, they had shit that would be like $5 shelfware shit here for like 30-40 euros. I'm like, what the fuck? I was really happy to see that second store and actually have more normal fucking prices, because I was like, holy shit. Trying to remember. Trying to remember what they were called. I'd have to look. I'm pretty sure I took a picture of the really good one. The other one I don't think I took any pictures of. But yeah, they were in the big busy Netherlands area there in Amsterdam. So, but yeah, I was surprised how, like, at least there, like, games stores were like really dry, considering it was very busy city place. You know, I live in the country, so it's not very shocking to see that not being, well, I'm sure if I traveled a lot farther out, I could find more, but yeah, it's like, I was just kind of surprised in the city, there just wasn't really a lot there. It's just, like, weird. But yeah, I don't know what's up with you guys and having lots of physical VR games, and we barely get any. We usually have to get them from limited one most of the time. Let's see. The Below. This, I believe, was on sale on Play Asia for like $5. As you can see, it's the ugly German version that gets the additional garbage thing on the cover. Ugh. But hey, you know, sometimes you gotta accept it for a deal, you know? Let's see, what was this? This is Cyber Shadow. This was a super whale. You're probably not gonna see it too well in now. I don't know, they put the PS5 versions in these, but they don't do that to the Switch versions. I don't really know why they do that. Quiet Place. This was $5 at Walmart. And then at the new game store that's in... There was a new game store in my local area, and there's also a new game store in the town I work in, and I like both of them. The one that's local is a lot more, how should I say, a little bit more corporate-minded. The guy who runs the one in the town I work in, he's a lot more down to earth, but yeah, I got that from him, which is, two. Also, I think this is the one that comes with, I think this comes with the movie, doesn't it? Yeah, Dragon Ball Plan to Eradicate the Super Saiyans. Yeah, this is the one that comes with the movie, which I believe is what that dude in the middle there is. So I was like, oh, I should get that, because to be honest, I could see down the road that becoming more and more harder to get. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, well, at like an hour. Is the music, because I know the music thing I did was only about an hour. Yeah. Let's go ahead and we roll the music. We roll the music. I knew this was going to probably be a little lengthy here. I knew it was going to be a little lengthy. Okay, so we got a pile of miscellaneous stuff from like the PS2 era. So there's like Wii, PS2, GameCube, Xbox, and you can see there's a little stack of some cartridge stuff there. We have more PS4, PS5 things, and then we have this monstrosity of Switch crap, which actually looks like it's about to fall, so I'm going to actually cut it in half so it doesn't horrifically fall. We got the Monster Camp and Monster Road Trip for the Switch there. Then another Super Whale. We're gonna see a bunch of Super Whale stuff here, I'm pretty sure. I'm sure we're gonna see a handful of Super Whale stuff here. And another Super Whale. Sadly, I'm not familiar with any of these particular titles, so I can't really comment on any of them. Did you manage to get the... Oh, you talk about the enhanced versions? I mean, I have the normal versions, and I don't really know about buying them again. I'd have to look at what they come with, but honestly, I don't really want to. They would have to have some really meaningful content for me to be in it, like... Yeah, so... Like, if they don't have any real meaningful content in them, I'm not really interested. I mean, sure, if you never got them all the way, and it doesn't, I mean, I guess that's probably good for people who didn't pick them up all the way, but, yeah, like, if it's just, like, outfits and crossover Easter eggs, like, nah, I'm good, Chief. Don't have any, like, deep new story or something, I'm pretty good. Let's see, this was a limited one release. And this was another strictly limited game that just got out. It's a shmup game. It has, I really like the art on it. It's very nice. Let's see, Superware, The Pedestrian. This is a interesting game. So it's like a platforming puzzle game where you play as a little stick man going through street signs and stuff. Kind of a bizarro idea. Then here's the Switch version of that motorcycle Metroidvania game. Definitely going to be playing the PS5 version, but considering this, like, I looked at it and I'm like, that is a really cool game. So, I usually ask Superware to get rid of any of the duplicates out of their mystery bundles once they got it all revealed, but I was kind of like, you know, I think I'll keep that one. That one might become valuable and might net me a little money back maybe down the road. So, let's see, no Superware game, not familiar with it. Then here's the only game I picked up purchasing-wise when I went to Washington. There was a game store down there in a mall, and they had this PSP game. And I never heard of it. It was only $13. They were called the Legendary Retro. But yeah, the bottom of the case is sadly broke, so I'll probably have to replace it. But yeah, it was only 13. It's some kind of dungeon thing that. So I was like, huh. So, snagged it. Let's see. We have the Cosmic Fantasy Collection. This is the one with 1 and 2, right? Yeah. So this is another case of limited ones fucking up. Now, Carter might be familiar with this. These are JRPGs. So Cosmic Fantasy 1 has a terrible problem on this. So it's not game breaking, but it's weird. So let's say there's a slime monster in front of me. So instead of saying, you attacked slime monster, it does something like, slime monster attacks you for so-and-so damage. It like, reverses what you did or something with some of the physical melee damage. I think magic is normal if I never quite. It's just the melee shit. And like, yeah, that's kind of fucking how the fuck did that happen? So, apparently that's only in the first one. The second one apparently doesn't suffer that. But, yeah, that's again, you know, the usual quality assurance of limited one games nowadays. The usual expectation is to be the lowest common denominator as usual. Paper Mario the Origami King. I got that on sale from GameStop. This was a Black Friday deal from GameStop. Sadly, later on, someone else had brand new copies for the same price, so that one was a little bit of a loss, sadly. But what can you do? That was on sale for like $9 at Amazon. Not familiar with it. I've seen it on Twitter feed a lot. It looks very nice. It has very beautiful art in that. So, let's see. That was a PlayAsia game that was on sale for like $9. I hadn't got yet. Now here's something. Here's something that we'll never see in the West. Prison Princess. So this is a 2 games in 1 deal. This is the, I think this was the Asian version? I don't think it's the Japanese version, yeah, because it doesn't have the Siwa waiting on it. So yeah, this is the Asian version. But yeah, these are fan servicey games, and you know, we're in the dark age of, you know, some fan servicey games get through. If I remember correctly, it's like a weird puzzle game where you have to, like, it's kind of visual novel, but you like trying to get out of like a prison or something as the princess. But yeah, I was like, oh, well, that's probably a game that will sell out and become expensive. So I was like, I might as well get fan service games. Usually, like, I can tell you, when I went to Japan, there were 3 things that were usually very expensive. Shmups, very expensive. Really popular fan servicey games. There were lots of fan servicey games that were very expensive. I only know a handful of Japan-only fan servicey games. There was that one on the DS, I remember, that got a lot of notoriety in the West. I saw that a few times in Japan for very expensive. And then games that overseas people were buying that they started charging a lot more money for. Well, I mean, none of the friends I was with even know anything about Higurashi, and from I'd have to re-look it up, but I think it was like way north. We were like in the mid-south area of Japan, mostly, if I remember correctly. I think Higurashi's village was up to the north, I believe. But yeah, if I go again, yeah. I remember my friend Chocobo in VR. Chocobo went there. He said, beautiful place. He said, very beautiful place. But he said it's way out there. Way out there in the country. He said, like, if you go there, you're definitely spending a night there. Because you're going to be spending, like, a whole day just, like, traveling there. So, next time I go, it's definitely something I'm going to try and see about. Especially if I go by myself. Because then I don't really have the problem of other people not being interested. But I'm definitely going to see about next time I go. If I go with friends, I'm going to try and recommend it as a place to visit. But yeah, I feel like there's a mixture. Like, you get the more freedom to do what you want, but you're also alone in a foreign place with less help and people to fall back on in case of weird things. So, but I do have the experience of being in Japan now, so I would definitely feel more comfortable being there by myself now. Honestly, I was surprised how much harder it was in the Netherlands, because Japan actually has a decent amount of English signs to help you. Netherlands, I was kind of, at least where I was kind of surprised there was like almost nothing. Very little. Like, I don't think we found a single restaurant that had English menus. I think the only ones we found were ones you had to, like, scan a QR code. But, like, they didn't have physical English menus, so I felt like that was weird, because I thought it would be less of a problem, not more of a problem, so I was kind of surprised by that, to be honest. But yeah, if, you know, I'm currently, right now, I have a friend group considering different places to go next, so I'm trying to see if they want to go to Japan, but if they don't, it's probably more likely I will either start my own thing to see if anyone wants to go to Japan with me, or just go by myself, because I did have a very lovely time there, though the hotel prices by myself are a little scary, though. Because Browser paid for the hotels. I don't really know how much he paid, to be honest. Browser's system was basically, I'm just going to pay for the hotels, and then you all just, you know, when food and stuff happens, tickets and that, you just buy them for me. Take turns buying them for me. So he was pretty cool about that. This is a sequel to a notorious Famicom game, and it copies Vampire Survival-esque type gameplay. I have streamed this some. It's okay. It has multiplayer, online multiplayer. I don't know if it has local. I know it has online multiplayer. Yeah, it's only online multiplayer. Bit of a shame. Now here's an interesting one. So have you been interested in the Corpse Party collection thing on the Switch? If you have not heard, the American version has been canceled. So if you want this, you need to get the Japanese version. It does have English on it, but yes, for some reason, the English release has been canceled, which is crazy. Like, the censorship shit is getting really stupid. Like, these are games that have already came out before on other devices. Like, censorship is just becoming so stupid, because it's crazy when what is it? It's crazy when this game can come out on the Switch and physically, but then, like, this can't. Now, of course, like I said, this is a Asian version. This is the Japanese version. So, we are talking about the ESRB version, but it's still fucking crazy because, like, the thing came out in Japan. Like, it's just like, what the fuck? Let's see, these are supposed to be, if I remember correctly, 2 remakes of 2 mystery games that used to be, I think, on the Famicom. So, that's supposed to be a collection of 2. A escape room puzzle-y game that was on sale from the 3D, the the Earth Defense Force, the EDF. This was another game. I believe it was by... I think this was partially made by the guy who made Danganronpa, I think, if I remember correctly. Either way, I know a lot of Japanese people recommend this game. It does have English on it. And it looked like we won't... Because it is digitally available in English, but it hasn't been available physically. But apparently now, we're going to get a Switch and Switch 2 version of this in America now. So that's exciting to hear. And I would hope it's going to be more patched up, so I might have to look into that depending on the levels of kind of issues it might have, if it even has any. Now here's something I've been very excited. If you love 999, 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors, like that series, this is a collection of 2 games that guy made before 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors. These were originally PC games, and then over years they've gotten multiple console versions. Now, if I remember correctly, one of these, I think it's Level 17, I think? Level 17? There's supposed to be something that's a bit of a connection to the second, the 7, or was it 7? I don't know. One of them is supposed to, like, the post-content of the second 999 game, there was kind of a connection to one of these 2 games in that, from what I understood a long time ago, reading stuff about his past games. Yeah, this is a physical, is the Japanese version. It does have English on it. But yeah, there was no physical English version. As far as I do know, you can get them digitally in English, though, on the Switch store. But yeah, if you want physical, you're going to have to get the Japanese version. But it does have English on it. So, I'm very excited, though, because I've heard those are pretty good. There's supposed to be something similar where the characters get stuck somewhere. So, Pizza Towel. Pizza Towel is a crazy Wario, like, it's like the Game Boy Color Wario games. I've watched a good amount of it. This was some weird physical version Video Games Plus did. They only printed like I think 2,000 copies or something. It's supposed to be some kind of mix of like building explorative game, like building up like a society. Yeah, Evo 17. One of them's Evo 17, and then the other one is you got Evo 17, the Out of Infinity, and Evo 7, the End of Infinity. But I think it's the Evo 17. Yeah, it was not a cheap one. This wasn't a like $5 thing. This was, I think for me, I think it was like about $50. So yeah, it wasn't. That was not the cheapo ones. That was the cheapo one. Snow Brothers Special 2. That was a limited one. Then you got the Cosmic Fantasy Collection 2, which has 3 and 4 on it. Oh wait, those what? There's apparently 2 4s on here. You have Cosmic Fantasy 3, Cosmic Fantasy 4, Prelude to the Legend, and Cosmic Fantasy 4 Vans Return. So there's actually 3 games on this. Now, I'm not very familiar with, like, all I really know of Cosmic Fantasy is that Walking Design released it 2 in America. We never got 1, we got 2 in America. And that's all I really know about it. Like, really, other than it's a very anime cutscene JRPG. That's all I know. Apparently it was mostly well known because it was one of the first JRPGs to do a lot of the pixely anime cutscene stuff that you saw on Sega CD and Saturn and some PS1 stuff and that. It was apparently one of the first JRPGs to do a lot of that, and that's apparently a lot of nostalgia with it. But other than that, from what I understand, they're very basic JRPGs. So, especially the first one. Here, the first one is very, very generic. So, that one might be a little bit worth the playthrough, maybe. We got some Metroidvanias with the Tahu Project series. Very dark and gothic. This I probably really should have skipped. It's by the Kratos Ashante, I believe. I believe it was originally like a GBA game. No, actually, no. I think this is something else, actually. I think I'm thinking of a different thing. Never mind. This is apparently like a cartoony racy game. No, that game I'm thinking of is like a snowboard game, I think. I don't remember. It's something. They did do a physical version of it, whatever the hell it is. Bah. Can't remember anything. We got several Super Whale games here. Super Whale, Super Whale, Super Whale, Super Whale, Super Whale. Yeah, that was that game I had a PS5 version of. Let's see, now here's Goblin Slayer. Now, this was interesting to see. So, originally there was going to not be an English version of this, and it was going to have English on it. And then later PlayAsia said that the English was going to be canceled on it. And that was because Red Alert Games pulled the Limited 1 games and decided to do a physical version of it. So we have a physical version here, which sadly has a little bit of damage on the cover. Somebody fucked up putting the cover in the slip thing, though, sadly. But yeah, this is a tactics game in the Goblin Slayer universe, which, if you know anything about Goblin Slayer, pretty dark. So honestly, tactics game probably sounds like a good place for it, to be honest. Let's see, I believe this is a shmup game. Yep, shmups. So many shmups. Shmups have really been the wise. This was from Game Fairy. So, for anyone who knows, back when all these limited companies started around, there used to be a company called Game Fairy, and they hadn't done anything for a very, very, very long time. Just recently, they kind of just revamped their store in that, and started putting out a few titles again. So this is supposed to be a musical Metroid game. So that was a title I got from them. Let's see. This I do have on PS4, if I remember correctly, got retail. This is supposed to be a complete edition for Heaven's Hopes. One's okay, I hope. Probably not. We got Chuchan, his crazy antics. And we got, I think this was, I don't remember who published this one. Omega 6, I don't know where that one came from. It doesn't have Limited 1 on it, so I don't remember if that was, because Limited 1 sometimes does distro titles too, and they don't always put their name on them, so sometimes there's a bit there. And this one has some really cool artwork. I don't know anything about it though. It looks very Castlevania Metroid-y, so but it has a very nice art style to it. We got Taito Milestones 2, which has a handful of arcade games. They've been doing a lot. I think they're up to like 5 of these, which is good because we need more compilations of arcade games that have never came to console. There's so many really good arcade games that are unknown, stuck in Japan, or just don't have any fucking way to play. So these are very appreciated. Please, people who made arcade games, do more arcade collections. There's so much shit that's lost in the void that could be out there. This was a $5. The Karate Kid. It's like a beat 'em up game. Game Mill, who's the publisher, is known. I guess you could say they're kind of the modern LGN. I guess you could kind of say they kind of fought out licensed games, and sometimes they're okay-ish, and other times it's a licensed game. But yeah, that's a beat 'em up game, and that was like $5. Can't really be that bad. Let's see. This is an RPG. It has English. It was on sale in PlayAsia. Not familiar with it, but it was on sale, so it's like, well, it's an RPG. It has English. It's on sale. Sounds good to me. Now here, those who keep up with this series, so this is a set of 3 games. This is a part of a series that started on the PS1, had a sequel on the DS, and you have this trilogy on the Switch. I also have the big box limited edition on top of these. These are I'm not sure how to describe these. They're like side-scrolly tank tactics games, I think is the best way I could describe it. But I've been looking forward to these having physicals forever. Like, I mean, this came out years ago, the first one, and like, I wanted to support this series. Like, I love this series. But, like, the fact that they weren't putting them on any physical media was distressing. And then they finally did with it when they got the third one out. They finally made a physical of all 3 of them. So I was like, thank heavens. And then Limited One announced, like, in the last thing that they're gonna do a physical of them now. And I'm like, those fuckers. On the upside, though, that is slightly good news, because I do know the third game, like, these were out for years. So these are likely the most comprehensive versions that exist even on the digital store. This, however, just came out, and there were some bugs apparently on it, so I might pick up the third copy from Limited One Games because of hearing about that. Yeah, you'd be better off looking up gameplay. I really don't know how to describe it, because it's, you play as a bunch of war children who are in this giant tank, and you basically go up against the, like, essentially, you know, the in-universe Nazis, basically. Like, so, like, these children are trying to survive with this tank against these fucking soldiers and shit. And one of the like, dark things about the storyline is the tank has, like, a super fucking weapon on it, but it consumes the life force of a child if you use it. So you got, like, basically a fuck you button, but you kill off one of the characters if you use it. So, like, obviously, if you want the good ending, you don't want to do that at all throughout any of the games. So, it's like, fuck. But, yeah, I don't know a whole lot about, like, the progression. I have avoided spoilers all the way to now, but I'm definitely looking forward to hopefully playing them. I know it's always this course of hopefully. But it's hard working a full-time job. I seriously can't wait till I fucking retire or something. Something to get me out of what I do. Because, like, I need it bad. Ugh. I need to stretch my legs a little. Where's my waddle? Whew. But we got this pal here, a little pal here, and then just a very small stack of Switch. Ooh, don't all spoil you. A small stack of Switch stuff still to do. So we're almost done here. Ugh, almost done. Oh boy. Okay. Let's get back to it. Let's finish off the Switch stuff. We got some Japanese versions of Nintendo games. They were on the cheap. So there's the Zelda game. I've heard very questionable things about it. I think it was like 15, 19, I can't remember. Which is pretty good because you usually don't see first-party titles go on the cheap too often. Then you have the newest Mario Brothers RPG. Honestly, I really need to give this series another try because back in high school I didn't really dig them at all. So, but that was back when I was younger. I've grown to like some games that I didn't like back when I was younger. So, I really do need to give them another shot to see if I still dislike them or not. I'm not really good at platforming, so another super well, another super well, and then I bought the new version of Saga Frontier 2. For some reason, apparently the Sony version doesn't have English on it, only the Switch version. Very strange and very disheartening, sadly. But Saga Frontier 2, I got really far in Saga Frontier 2 when I was young. I remember I got it as a Christmas gift back in like middle school, early high school. I'm pretty sure it was like middle school. It was a Christmas gift. I remember I got it and Mega Man Legends 1 as Christmas gifts. It was like the first time my dad used Amazon. Oh man, talk about weird, right? Like, back when Amazon was this mysterious thing you could order shit from and have it mailed to you. And you could buy used stuff from third-party sellers. Weird, woo. But, I got stuck on the fight with, I believe his name was Gustav. He was like the leader of one of the leading, like, militaries. Like, you have this fight you can't actually win, and you have to delay it so many turns. And I swear, like, I could never get to work. Like, it's pure RNG because, like, it's not one of those fights where everything's purely set up for you to lose perfectly and there's no failsafe. Like, you can fail. You don't succeed at holding them off the certain amount of turns you need to do, you fail. And you're forced to be at the mercy of the RNG because sometimes the enemy might get a good round of hits and kill a bunch of people, and then you're just kind of fucked, and other times they might have enough defense to hold them back a turn or two more. Like, I could never get RNG to line up with me to fucking do it. I did it over and over and over and over, and I swear so many fucking times. And there were other people back on Game FAQs that had the same problem. It's just like, I've been doing this like 50 times. Good lord, when's it going to win? Because there's nothing you can do. The characters you use in the fight are completely preset. There's There's nothing you can do to modify them, improve them, grind, level them up, gear. What they have is what they have, and there's nothing in the game that affects what they have. Like, it's the tools you're given. It's such a horrible fucking spot. Like, as you can see, it's traumatized me for years. But yeah, it'll be interesting to play that version and see how that looks in that one. Because, yeah, it's a pretty notorious part of the game. You get lucky or you get fucked. So, we went through all the Switch stuff, so we got some old stuff and we got remaining Sony shit. Let's go through the older stuff. We got some more Witchwood things. At the Missouri Game Con, I found somebody selling the Game Boy Advance version of Goemon. Yeah, Goemon. That's on the GBA. That is a Famicom designed entry. If you remember, going to Game Boy Advance, there was like these NES, like throwbacks to like Castlevania and stuff. They did something similar in Japan with Famicom, and that was one of those. Lock and Chase, never heard of it. Traded packing material for it. Warrior Blast, found it at GameStop for sale. Used my $5 promo on it. And this I got at the Missouri Game Con as well, is Pokemon Green. Now, it was listed for $29.99. This was one of the titles I haggled. I said, how would you feel about 20 bucks? And it was near the end of the day. They had tons of these. Like, they had a giant bucket full of these wet. Wait, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, they had, wasn't blue like a later version for the, I can't remember. They had a ton of different Pokemon Japanese versions, so they had tons of these. So my thought process was, I'll stop by near the end of the day, because a lot of them, like if you go to those kind of game convention things where people sell shit, a lot of times when it's like the last hour and people are getting ready to pack up and stuff, they'll do deals because they don't want to carry all that shit home. They want to get rid of as much as they can a lot of times. So that's usually a good time to do some wheeling and dealing if there's something you think you want for cheap or want to try and get a deal on. So I tossed a 20 in there and they're like, yep, we'll do that. And this was the last game I did a deal on. So this is one of the few RPGs that exist on the fucking N64. It's not the best condition version, but there were 3 booths that had it. It definitely needs some cleanup. It got sticky shit all over it from stickers from like probably GameStop shit. I did a deal for 20 on this one as well, and they took it. So it's supposed to be a pretty interesting game, but it has a lot of bugs and shit, so, you know, it's interesting, but incredibly flawed, so it's one of those kind of games. Now, here's something interesting. I'm very interested to see if Carter ever heard of this. Probably not, because it probably didn't come out in his neck of the woods, but I found it very interesting. So, this, I want to describe this. This is an Xbox game, an original Xbox game, the OG Xbox, the one before this 360, and it's published by Atlas. Now, your first thought, if you're really hardcore Atlas persons, so it's Shin Tensei 9 then, right? Because Shin Tensei 9 was the supposed prototype of an MMO that didn't get realized, then they just kind of cobbled it together as a game and released it on the Xbox, but it was originally supposed to be their first attempt at MMO. No, I've had Shin Tensei 9 for a very long time. I bought that a bajillion years ago. Long time ago for like nothing. Probably more expensive now, I imagine. This is an ESRB title. I did not know Atlas ever published anything in America for the original Xbox. I did not know that. I knew Shin Tensei 9 in Japan, but I did not know they ever published anything in America. But this is an ESRB title published by Atlas in America. I had never heard of it. It's some kind of venture game made by someone who made the original Tomb Raider. It's cribbed as its booklet. The game's apparently a bit of a mixed bag, but for $16, I was just kind of like, I think I need to buy that. Like, I've really never, like, I've never heard of anyone talk about this game or heard of this game, period. Like, I don't know about you, but I find it very weird to see games I've never heard of without going to, like, foreign territories. Like, I've seen the majority of games. Like, it's pretty rare for me to, like, see a game I've never seen in some form before. And I have never seen or heard of this game. So, I was like, well, I'm getting that, because that's just a curious oddity there, so I went and bought that, and we have that. And then Nightcaster 2, this is a sequel to an Xbox game. I did not know it had a sequel. It's only excuse me. It's only $9, so I was like, sure. Let's see. This was from Trading and Packing Material. It's some kind of FPS game. Never heard of it. It's complete and it's in good condition. It's by South Peak. Well, published by South Peak. Yeah, I know it's not common to see 360 games in good condition, but yeah, it's in good condition. It has like one minor little scratch on it. Let's see, what was in this? This is Mega Man 8 for the PS1. We have, this was from the Missouri Game Convention. So this is Golden Axe Buster Idol for the PS3. This had terrible reviews. Terrible reviews. This guy had it for $10. And I did not haggle this one. I was just being honest to him. He was like, you want to buy it? You're gonna get it? And I was like, well, on one hand, like, other than the one arcade cabinet game, I basically own all the Golden Axe games. So it would be nice to get it. But it's also notoriously terrible. Terrible as hell. And I mean, honestly, $10 is kind of much for a really, you know, really crappy game. Now, I have not personally played this. That is the opinion of when it came out from what I heard people. Maybe it's one of those undeserved kind of hatred thing, because I've certainly played a lot of games like that too. But yeah, I was just kind of like, so sorry, $10 just feels kind of much. So, and he's like, how about $5? And I'm like, sure. He's like, okay, there you go. Yeah. So I didn't. I mean, from his perspective, it might have been haggling, but I was just being honest. I just didn't want to pay $10 for something that's pretty notable to be terrible and like probably had very little hope of being really good. Cookie Mama, that was just some random thing he gave me with the packing material stuff. I picked out some stuff, and for some reason it's like, hey, you ever play Cookie Mama? The disc has some scratches, but it might be okay. I don't think I'll ever play it, but I was like, no, I don't. It's like, here, there you go. Have a copy of Cookie Mama. GameCube, we got King Arthur by Konami. This was also for packing material. It is in good condition and that. But yeah, this is supposed to be kind of like the Lord of the Rings games, kind of that. So, never personally played it, but every time I found a copy of it, it's pretty destroyed. So, that one wasn't. So I was like, oh, sweet. Now here's something that was interesting. So, there was a game on the DS called Shepherd's Crossing 2. If you've ever heard of it, you probably know it is ungodfully expensive. Now, I had heard of it before, the DS game, but I never heard of the first one. And at the Missouri Game Convention, I saw this, Shepherd's Crossing, and I was like, isn't that the name of that expensive DS game? And I was like, oh, so this is the first one. It's kind of interesting. It has, like, RPG combat. Like, you can take your dogs out and defend your home. Like, that's kind of interesting. And so, like down here, you can see like the picture of the RPG thing. You got like a group of dogs in that. So it's like it's really interesting. It's like you know, Harvest Moon and stuff and that. So I literally like I knew the DS sequel, but I never knew anything about the game like I kind of just assumed it was like a Japanese game that never came to America or some shit. I never knew this thing existed. It wasn't expensive. It was like $10 or something. But yeah, I had never seen it before. It's cribbed, the disc is in good condition and that, so I was like, interesting. I've never looked up about the original or anything of that, so like just randomly coming across that, like, and I've literally never seen it before. I've never seen it before, so that was kind of interesting because it's like I knew the sequel, but I never seen the original of it. Miss 3, that was for packing material, so that was another freebie. Yeah, some more stuff from Jimmy Hopper. Ultra Beast, the Japanese one. Europe actually got this. Carter might be a little familiar with it, maybe. But yeah, PAL Territories got this. We did not. This is supposedly a terrible game, supposedly. But I got that from I got that from No, I got that from Jimmy Hopper. This I don't know. It was just out of the stuff. He had a bunch of stuff for sale, and like I don't know anything about it, but it was like nothing. Like so, I was like, sure, I'll grab that. Let's see. This one is a big samurai-ish game. It looked really nice when I looked up it, so I bought that. Then 7 Blades. This was another interesting samurai game they had. Bought that from him. Now here's the interesting thing. I'll save that actually. I'm gonna go through the. I also got the SNK Arcade for the Wii from him too. It's the American version. He does have some American versions. I believe that was everything from him. Other than this last thing. So Shattered Memories. That's what I was trying to remember. Silent Hill Shattered Memories. This is sealed, by the way. This is a sealed American copy of Shattered Memories for the Wii. Now, I did not ever pick up Shattered Memories back in the day. I always just kept... Because a lot of people say it was a pretty blah game, and I was just waiting to find it on the cheap. And it's one of those stories where, like, I waited too long, and instead of becoming cheap, it became slightly more expensive. And I kept just waiting to see if I could find it for the cheap, and yeah. Ugh, gotta stretch my legs a bit. Oops, excuse me. Kind of walking with a limited room here. But yeah, so I waited too long, and nothing ever became cheap. And now it's way too expensive. So this has now became the most expensive game I've paid used money for. So, do you want to guess how much I paid for the sealed copy of Silent Hill Shattered Memories? Now, if you're a long-time viewer, you might know the previous thing that I paid the most for was the sealed copy of God Hand that I got from Pink Gorillas, which I believe was $80 if I remember correctly. That was my previous most money spent on a used game. This has beaten that. Now, Jimmy Hopper gave me a great deal here, and I feel bad because I told him I am interested in it, but the sad thing is I'm not interested in it for the price it goes for. And I would rather him get, obviously, for one, the money it's worth, because, I mean, he's selling the stuff to get money, obviously. He's been downsizing his collection here and there. I think this is like the 4th time I've bought some of the stuff from Jimmy Hopper, I believe. And he takes care of his stuff. Good condition shit. Does not sell you junk, that's for sure. But, yeah, I was like, I'm interested, but it's like what it goes for is way too much. Like, let me look up what it supposedly goes for now, right now. Shattered Memories. So, Shattered Memories on the Wii for a brand new sealed copy, according to price charting, goes for $199 currently. And that's a lot. That's a lot. And, you know, I can't justify blowing that kind of money on something. Like, it'd have to be like the descending, like, Shadow Memories' reputation has changed a little bit back from when it came out. Now some people just like say it's an interesting, like, what if storyline, but like, yeah, you know, it's a mainline like thing. It's not part of the mainline storyline, and it's not necessary for the actual story of Silent Hill or anything. But yeah, like, for me to spend that kind of money on a single game, it would have to be, you know, like one of the greatest games fucking ever. But Jimmy was like, and I don't know if Jimmy ever, like, Jimmy comments sometimes on some of these, sometimes, but if you're watching this, Jimmy, I honestly feel bad that you sold this to me. I really wanted you to tell me no. But you kept telling me to make offer. Like, I waited for a while. And he kept encouraging me to make an offer. And I was like, it's like, okay, I'll make an offer. But please, for the love of humanity, fucking refuse it. So, I said $100. And he said, sure. So, I got this for $100. A sealed copy. And, like, and sadly, I'm going to, like, let's do it now. No, I'm not going to do it now. But, yeah, I'm going to be breaking it open. So, you know, I'm sure people are like, no, he's a monster. Kill him. He's insane. Yeah. So, Silent Hill Shadow Memories is now the most expensive used game I paid money for $100. Courtesy of Jimmy Hopper. I greatly appreciate you selling this to me, because, like, this is the better experience for this game than the PSP version I got. I have a Japanese copy of the PSP version that I snagged when that was actually still affordable, which is now went up, so technically I could sell the PSP version and actually make money off that. But, yeah. I do really appreciate you selling this to me if you see this. Like, this actually meant a lot to me. But I do also feel really bad, because like I said, you deserve more for it. Like, so I really appreciate it. And my thought process is, I imagine Jimmy Hopper probably got it either cheap or whatever the original new price was. He probably didn't buy it secondhand after it became expensive, I imagine. So probably in his eyes, he's probably making money anyway. And, you know, that's appreciated. Look, because a lot of people in used selling game shit don't look at it that way sometimes. And I really appreciate that, you know. And I've done that for people I know. Like, I have a coworker, Joel, who wanted a PS3 light gun, the Namco Gun Con. And I actually had 2 extras that I found at a pawn shop Goodwill place. It was the one that's about 15 minutes from here with that. But they had 2 of them. They didn't have any of the other stuff. It's just the gun cons. But they were $1 each, and I was kind of like, well, I mean, I don't think I would ever use them, but hey, they're $1 each, and usually this stuff, you know, becomes hard to find and stuff. So if I ever need to replace mine or whatever, you know, there it is. So I've had them for a long time and that. And he was looking for one. They apparently became very, very expensive. So I made a deal with him. So, like, obviously I could just, you know, try to sell him for a lot of money. But, you know, I was telling him, there was a, like, expanded Time Crisis game that had like an additional game and modes for the original Time Crisis thing that came out with that. I can't remember what it was called, but I had never gotten it. It's not super expensive, so I told him, give me a cribbed copy of that. If you look really well, you can find for like 15 or 10, or like you can scrounge around for one if you want. And he went and got one and traded it for it. So I still got a little something for it, but like I said, I bought it for $1, so I mean, anything basically was a profit compared to that. But yeah, I think they were going for like $200. So I mean, honestly, like he got a good deal out of it, and like I understand that kind of thing, and that's appreciated. Like I like to view that as like good karma coming around and going around and stuff, and I hope you get some good deals and stuff back for doing something like that, because I mean that was $99 less than you could have gotten, and considering price charting, in my opinion, hasn't been doing a good job tracking. Like it's probably more than that. So again, thank you very much, Jimmy Hopper. If you ever see this, thank you so much. It's like an amazing deal that you didn't have to do. I even encouraged you not to do it, but thank you. I appreciate it, because it's been something I've been trying to get for a while now, since the price went up so high of that. So anyway, moving on. House of the Dead 2 and 3 I found. Can't, I think this was at yeah, that's what that pawn shop does. The case is horrifically ate up, but the disc is in good condition. It's nice and clean, but you can see the stuff in the middle where it's been buffed, so it's definitely been buffed before. But yeah, I don't have the Wii version. This is apparently a really good version. I have played 3 on the original Xbox, so I have played through that. 2 was an unlock in that, but it was pretty hard. I'm hoping this will be a easier version to play with 2. And even then, the Wii remote's a good way to play gun con games. Like honestly, the Wii was fantastic for these kind of games. So either way, it's still a good way to, even if I wanted to replay 3. But I did play 3 on the original Xbox with the gun. Namco didn't have a gun con on it. I think it was Pelican gun cons, because we never got a Japanese gun con for the original Xbox. We got Sonic Mega Collection Plus. Sadly has water damage, but it is complete, and the booklet doesn't have water damage, luckily enough. But yeah, sadly the cover has some water damage. And then we got Bomberman for the GameCube there. I don't think... Okay, yeah, it didn't have a booklet. It's just the box there. Oh, now we got one more stack to go. Where's the music at? Music's almost at the end, so I'm gonna restart the music one more time. Let's start the music one more time now. And we'll get going. Whew. Okay, final stack. Let's get through it, shall we? Let's go quick. Squirrel with a gun. So this, I gave it a new case, but the original case was smashed now, and it might be kind of hard to see, but the cover art was pre-destroyed. Woot.com had a few cheap copies of this. I bought a few, and I was going to trade in. Basically, I was going to do the buy one and trade one in, and have the trade in basically cover the one I bought, but they were both damaged, and basically I got unlucky. This was one of those few times I got unlucky, which by the time I got it, the trade-in value went below what I paid. So I was kind of like, well, there's one of those times we got gypped. So but they were both damaged. This one was damaged there, and the other one was a lot more damaged up here. But I reported where I did a customer thing, and they just gave me a full refund on them, similar to that collector's edition thing. So they basically gave me these. So I was like, oh, cool. So I got this one a new case. Like I said, you still have that whip in the cover art, and I gave the other one to Joel, who I was just talking about with the gun con thing. I gave that to him. He does me a number of nice little favors. He helped me build my previous computer before I got the one I'm using now for VR. He helped me build that. He helped me fix the fan failure I had with this one. And, you know, he's helped me with PC related things. So, you know, I was like, you know, I've been needing to give you some back too. So I gave him the other copy I had that. So, let's see, Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2. Then I think the next one was Security Breach. Yep, Security Breach. Like I said, I've been finding a lot of cheap security breaches I can flip at GameStop. Give you a little extra money. I got this at the Missouri Game Con. It is a common Wido game. I think it is a beat 'em. Yeah, this is a Dynasty Warrior style game. That's what it was. This is a Dynasty style Warrior game with common Widos. Let's see. Pixel. This is supposed to be some VR games, I believe. Like you're supposed to balance like playing a game and living like real life or something. Yeah, fully explorable wheel and gaming worlds and that. See, then you have a little horror game. Let's see. Some more limited one stuff. 8-Bit Adventure 2. This is a JRPG indie game. The first one stuck on PC, sadly. I did ask the creator if there was any plans to port that to consoles. He said something about, I believe, the engine he put in wouldn't be portable. He would have to remake it, but he is looking into maybe doing that, so might get that in the future. The Stars in Time. This is supposed to be a RPG as well. I've heard some people compare this to like the Amoy. Hikamoi? Yeah, Amoy. Hikamoi Moi. That's how I have to remember to pronounce that, sadly. I've heard some people compare some of this to Amoy a little bit. So, that one, something to keep an eye out. Did grab a copy of Fear 3 at GameStop. They didn't even put a sticker on it yet. Because my GameStop is not a retro location. But because they can still take trade-ins, and then they have to ship them to retro stores. But you can ask if they have any, look at them and buy them while they have them in possession. So I do that. At least mine lets me do that. Just Cause 3, that was a random pick thing with packing material. Got this. It's 2 games. One's like a little bit of an RPG, and the other one's like a side-scrolly thing. I'm not really familiar with either title. I mean, I know about Steven Universe because, you know, it used to be really big on social media, but otherwise I don't really know much about. But, yeah, I think I used it, my promo, and got that for, you know, almost nothing. Let's see, The Phantom, that was a limited one release. This was also from the Missouri Game Con. Now, I've been weighing this for a decent price for a while, and I did find it at the Missouri Game Con. Now, Limited One Games did do a physical version for the Switch. So, as far as I know, that has nothing different in it, content-wise. So, I probably would likely get rid of the Switch version, probably, since I got that. Because the price apparently went down some. The Trails Daybreak 2. Got Under Defeat, which this was apparently originally a Dreamcast game, I believe. So, it is looks like it's kind of a shmup. See, Salt in Sacrifice. I've been waiting for a physical version of this for a bajillion years now. But this is the sequel to Salt in Sanctuary, and we finally finally got a fucking physical release of it through Limited One Games. Because, of course. Of course, to be fair, the original game was one of the early releases. It was one of the, I think it was one of the first Limited One games I went through, if I remember correctly. But, yeah, I really enjoyed the first one. I've been waiting for that for, like, forever, so it's good to have that now. Born of Bread, this is a RPG by Without Games. I don't really know much about it other than that. Prince of Persia, got that for like $9. This thing came and went, like, it did not sell well, which is a shame because unlike a lot of Ubisoft games, this is apparently a complete game and shit. So it's kind of sad to hear it didn't do well compared to all the fucking garbage disc tray coastal games they do a lot of. Shotgun King, this is another game I'm very excited to get a hold of. It was a Without game. This is supposed to be a bizarre game of chess, where you're just like a solo king with a shotgun. You gotta go up against chess pieces. So I don't know the entire, like, I didn't want to spoil any of it. Like, just the concept of it was interesting enough to me. So I didn't want to spoil anything about the gameplay in that. So I have not actually watched anything about it. It was a complete shot in the dark purchase, but the concept sounds amazing, so I hope it will be. I'm looking forward to trying it. Spellcaster University, you want a like Hogwarts, like, it's basically a simulator game where you won Hogwarts, basically. That was a Without release. This is a side-scrolling game, which I think this is, yeah, this was Limited Legacy Games. This is supposed to be a really hard game, if I remember correctly, so probably not something I'll do. Not sure why there's a empty case. That might have been one of those security breach extras I might had, maybe. We got Lords of the Fallen, the newer version, the reimagined Lords of the Fallen. Now, I used my $5 game card, coupon thing that I get from Pro. So obviously I got that for cheaper, $5 off. So yeah, didn't pay much for it. I heard this is even more broken than the original Lords of the Fallen. So this should be that should be a experience. Because, I mean, the first one had several pretty technical flaws to it. So, considering I've heard those worse things in that one, that will probably be a joke fest of a playthrough. There's the PS5 version of the Pedestrian. Let's see, Slay the Princess. Now, I was recommended this by friend Browser. He said this is a really good game, and it was just announced to have a console version coming out, so I did pre-order it. This is a brand new, the brand new, as GameStop puts it. But I play my games. I get the mentality of wanting it to actually be sealed when you get it. Don't get me wrong, I do get that, man. There's so many receipts in here from, because I think I basically paid this off with copies of Security Breach, if I remember correctly. Oh no, these were with copies of The Last of Us. Oh yeah, that was weird. So for some reason, my Walmart had a bajillion copies of The Last of Us Part 2 for the PS4 for $5, and it traded in for like $15-20 at various places. So like, every time I went to Walmart doing that, I got like 2-3 copies and like dropped them off at pawn shops and traded them in GameStop and shit until they ran out. But they had a ton of them. I went through a whole bunch of them within like 2 weeks. So yeah, that was pretty weird. But yeah, I mean, as long as the disc is clean and they didn't damage anything, I don't usually make that big of a deal out of the whole thing, as long as it's not damaged. If it's damaged, then we get a problem here. This is a Asian version. This was a game that also had a Super Whale Switch version, so too many duplicates here on different consoles. See why I asked them, it's like, can I do something about this? Because I I don't like paying all this, like, because I'd rather have the Sony versions, the PS4, PS5 versions of these games than the Switch, unless there was like an actual unique port to the Switch version. And like, because the way they do the bundles, they reveal one, start the bundle of 3 you can purchase, but the other 2 are still mysterious until they announce them. And it's like, you know, I don't want to be paying more, so I'm glad I was able to work out something with it to avoid doing that anymore, because, like, you know, it costs money. The limited shit I'm not getting for $5, like some of the retail shit. So we got Super Techno Worlds, River City Techno's Arcade Classics. I think this was a limited one thing, or is this no, this is an Asian version. This is the Asian version. This has a total of 12 games, including the first console ports, all in one package. So, yeah, there's supposed to be a bunch. See, console titles. River City, Renegade, Kato's Dodge Ball Time, Come On Guys, Downtime, River City, Baseball Story, Kinyu's Udin, the Kabunduns, Sugunin, Quest Plus, and yeah, bunch, I can't pronounce it all, but, yeah, you know, if you like River City, Ransom, you know, it's a bunch of River City Ransom shit. This is supposed to be a slightly interesting Souls-esque game. I hear it has a few problems, but otherwise I heard it was a pretty okay game. So I got a discounted Asian version. Then we got River City Saga 3 Kingdoms Next. This is a mix of an RPG beat 'em up set in the 3 Kingdoms setup with River City ransom counters. I believe that is the sequel of another one, which I believe I already have. Asian copy. No, this is the Japanese copy. This is supposed to be like a puzzle game. It was cheap, so yep, snag that. Another super whale game. And then the very final bottom thing here, Story Seasons, Friends in Middle Town, which I believe I got really cheap. Yeah, this came with, okay, so you might see this one's damage a little bit though. It's kind of hard to see. So this was a Woot.com sale. I remember now, and it had a cow plushie that was like, I don't know, it somehow was like glued or melted onto the plastic of the case. So like right here on the plastic, there, you can see it right there. You can kind of see it. It kind of oddly kind of matches with the pitchfork there. But yeah, the plastic there is kind of weird, and it has a little there. So, and because the cow, it kind of pushed in on the case, kind of similar to that one Wet Art Games with the cards I was complaining about. But that was on sale, so I was like, you know, I don't have that version, so why not? And there we go. There we go. Finally done after 2 hours and 22 minutes. That's pretty much, what, 75% of the stuff I gotten this year. Because I think the last fucking video that I did, when was the last pickup video I did? Because I know it has been an actual good while since I've done the last one. Let's see. according to this, the last one I did was on May 19th. So, yeah, I mean, that's a good chunk of the year of pickups, though. It's been quite a bit since the last... Whew, man. Oh, that's a lot of stuff. But, hey, you know, it's a good chunk of the year, though, so... it's not like I got that all in one day. Anyway, now I have the horrible task of having to find space on my shelves, which is a continuous problem. I'm in the process of trying to rearrange some stuff. I got a shelf over there that's been rearranged because that's where they put the fiber on it, so I had to redo the shelf anyway. But the way I redid it actually made more space, so I got a little bit more space over there. I want to move, like, as you can see, there's like a bunch of my card stuff on the bottom over there that I want to put somewhere else so I have a little space. And I've been clearing out some I used to keep on my big wall that's behind me over here. I used to keep all my empty spare cases in boxes on the very bottom, like where those cards are. And I'm going to try and fix that up to put stuff down there, which will be a pain, but I need the space. The space is too much until I can get another room in the house, which sadly, as I said before, entails of either my dad passing away or going to a nursery home or something, which obviously, you know, that's not good, but the sad reality. Until that, I don't really have any, like, I've tried to ask if I can put a shelf or two in my mom's old computer room, because he literally does nothing in it. He doesn't use her computer, and literally everything in there has been, like, essentially remained untouched since my mom's passed away. It's literally just a fucking, you know, completely frozen in time room. And I get he doesn't want it, like, destroyed, and I don't want it destroyed either, but it's also a waste of space that could at least be partially used, so, yeah, so that kind of part of the problem. Like, my problem is I essentially have a house in a room, is my problem. Like, I have stuff that I would decorate a house with, but it's all trapped in, like, one room. And that's kind of my problem. So, So, even though I technically own the house, but, you know, I have to walk with my dad. Like I said, I'm not trying to, like, take over the house there, but it would be nice to use the room that no one literally does anything in a little bit until, you know, tie over a little bit until I get more full access options, if you get what I mean. But anyway, that's real life problems, but you know, minor problems, not like super horrific or anything. But yeah, anyway, so that's everything. So we're good. We're clean slate again until the next probably 5 to 7 months. So yeah.